Deborah from House of Eclectic here. Today we are going to be talking about natural remedies, things that I use on my own kids. This is kind of like a super weird topic for me. This isn't something I ever thought I would be talking about. So I'm really excited to share the things that I have discovered over the last couple of years, including Daith piercings. If you can see, I have my Daith pierced on both sides, so I've got a little bit of experience with that. So let me go ahead and get a couple shares in, and then we will go ahead and get started. So hang on. I can't ever talk and type at the same time. So hopefully I can. Okay, just a couple more, and then we will be ready to go. So like I said, this is like something I never thought I would be talking about. There we go. Last one. I don't know. My dad is a doctor, and so he was very traditional medicine while we were growing up, which is great. It's funny, he's changed a little bit now. He's not so much like that anymore. He's more like you know, kind of as he's grown and stuff like that, he's kind of turned it into like whatever works for your family. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I'm going to turn this way so you guys don't have to look at my super ugly computer the whole time. Okay. I don't know if this is any better, but let's go this way. Okay. So, like I said, this is like something that's super like different for me. So like so in 2012, yeah, you can see me. Just making sure. Okay, so in 2012, I was in a really, really bad car accident. Before that, I'd have some headaches sometimes, you know, not a huge deal. You know, I'd get a migraine. I probably had a few migraines a year. They're awful, but I mean, a few migraines a year I feel like are manageable. So in 2012, I was in a really bad car accident. It was so bad that when the paramedics showed up, I had gotten out of the car and was kind of surveying the damage and everything like that. They asked me, they asked where the body of the driver was of the car. They thought that I had passed away because the accident was so bad. So, like I said, this is like, I'm a little nervous talking about all this stuff, guys. This is a little out there for me. So, there we go. That's a little bit better. So, yeah, so things were so bad that the car accident was so bad that they thought that there was no way I could have lived through it. And I was really lucky me and my daughter were not hurt. And, but afterwards, I went from having like 2, maybe 3 migraines a year to having 28 a month. And I don't know if you've ever had a migraine before, but 28 a month is pretty darn debilitating. You can't do a lot when you have that many horrible, horrible, horrible headaches. So I kind of got desperate for anything. So for those of you that are just joining us, my name's Deborah. I blog at Housewife Eclectic. Today we are talking about natural remedies, a lot of the stuff that I use on my own kids. I won't show you anything that I don't use and believe in. This is all stuff that I use and love, and there are a few things in here that I think are absolute miracle products. So especially, we're definitely going to be talking migraines today, so if you have migraines, and we're definitely going to be talking terrible eczema today. So those are the two huge things we're going to be talking. We're also going to be talking just like when you're sick and things like that. So when you hop on, let me know where you're hopping on from. I am in the Salt Lake City area of Utah today, just in my office, which is a little cluttered, if you can't tell. But as I knock everything over. So I was talking about how I was in a horrible car accident. And I went from a few migraines a year to 28 a month. And it, like, I couldn't function. But you get to a point, my daughter was 3 at the time. She's 9 now. It's been 6 years. But you get to a point where, like, you just have to keep living, even though you are in so much pain. We moved from Texas to Utah during that time. And my husband was driving the moving truck. And we were driving through Albuquerque. And he was driving the moving truck. It was a big yellow Penske truck. And I was driving just our car. And I got a migraine so bad that I could barely move. And I was driving. And, you know, we pulled over at this, we were kind of going through, like, the passes of New Mexico. And we pulled over at this little teeny gas station in the middle of one of these passes. And I took some medicine, and we kind of just sat there for, you know, half hour as I was letting the medicine kick in. And we got to this point where my husband was like, we have to keep driving. Like, we can't, I mean, it's almost nighttime. We can't spend the night here. We're, like, in the middle of nowhere. We have to drive until there's somewhere where we can find a hotel. And it was this moment where I was like, I'm going to have to drive with a migraine. Like, what am I going to do? And, you know, he's like, well, you know, what can we do to make this better and everything? So I was, like, guzzling caffeine, you know, and I'd taken medicine and everything. And I'm sitting here going, like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through this. And it was, like, sheer will that I was going to, because I don't know about you, like, when you get migraines, like, what happens to you? For me, I get visual spots, like the like, I always call them sparklies, because sparkles, not sparklies. My daughter calls Christmas lights sparklies, so it's, like, ingrained in me. But I get, like, sparkles in my vision and everything like that. And we ended up having to drive from where we were to Farmington, New Mexico, because that was the closest place with with a hotel. And it was hours, and it was the worst, like, probably the worst day of my life. It was that point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. We have to find something that helps me. Like, I've lost my life to these headaches. And so at that point, I hadn't discovered any of this stuff yet. Or, like I said, I've got both of my dots pierced. But I hadn't discovered any of that at that point. And so for me, my dad growing up, my entire life is called chiropractors crack quacks. And so I was, like, very anti seeing a chiropractor. My husband has seen one his entire life. He's got one. It's the specialty that the chiropractor has is they're called NUCA. They focus all right here under the principle that if you align here, that the rest will kind of fall into line. If any of you know more about that than I do, feel free to say something in the comments. I'm just trying to see. I can't see the comments. They're too far away. Tina says she calls her stars, and they're not fun at all. Like, no, they're awful. Like, the sparkles in your vision are so awful. They make it so you can't see. I wonder if the lens is dirty. Hang on, guys. Sorry. You're about to get... Is that a little better? I think it's a little better. So I went to a NUCA chiropractor for the first time ever. And he changed my life. He got rid of a lot of the headaches, but not all of them. Ever since this car accident, so I was having 28 a month, and he brought it down to probably 4 a month, which was way better than how I was living before. But 4 is still a lot. So I was still on a search to try and help the headaches. And also for me, if I wasn't going to the chiropractor frequently, the frequency of the headaches would come back. And that was really frustrating because I felt like, you know, how much a month are we going to be spending on a chiropractor? Which, like, my husband was always of the opinion, like, hey, it's worth it if it's making your headaches go away. But it was frustrating to me. I wanted something that would stick a little bit better. So the very first thing I turned to was here. This isn't, I don't honestly use doTERRA a lot. I just happen to have a couple of bottles right now from their BOGO sale over Thanksgiving. What I normally use is Plant Therapy, which I really like is because they're really good quality, but they're also a lot cheaper than a lot of other oils because they're not an MLM and everything like that. I don't have any problem with doTERRA. I feel like their oils work fantastic. So the very first thing, and I don't use oils in a lot of things, but this is something I do have a lot of experience with. So I started using peppermint oil for my headaches, and this was also a really big life-changing thing for me. I don't know if, I'm probably going to tell you guys wrong. Like I said, I'm not an oil expert. I'm sure some people dilute the oil, but for me, I always have just taken it, and I'm sure you probably want to dilute it a little bit because it does burn, like if you don't dilute it. But I've always just taken it, put it on my finger, and then dabbed it right here on either side of my temples. And for me, that was also, my husband can't stand the smell of peppermint though, so he was always like, ugh, you had a headache today, didn't you? So for me, that was also really life-changing because I need my computer to be closer. I should have set up my other laptop so I could see your comments a little better. So for me, peppermint was also really life-changing. I carry a bottle of it in my purse. I carry it everywhere I go because it was amazing how much this oil that I honestly didn't really believe in could help my headaches. So that was, for me, that was a next step that kind of really helped those migraines go away a little bit more. So for those of you that are just joining us, I'm Deborah. We're talking about natural remedies for migraines right now. We're also going to be talking about natural remedies for eczema and a few other things. So now I'm going to be talking about, so this is like my favorite Etsy shop in the entire stinky world, guys. So it's Autumn Blooms. And she has, if you really hate the burn of the peppermint, then she has this headache ease serum, which it comes with a roller ball, so it's really easy to apply. And I'm going to end up with oil all over my face today. And this also has peppermint in it, but it's not so strong. It doesn't burn going on. So this is kind of a newer find for me. I found it after I got my Daith piercings, so I haven't had many headaches to try it out on. But my poor sweet nephew on New Year's Eve, and New Year's Eve is like a big deal in our house. We do like all these different, we make slime and paint and so it's really fun. And this poor kid, he's I want to say he's 13. I think he's turning 14 this year. I think he's 13. He got a terrible migraine and was down for the count. And he was laying in my mom's room in the dark, just moaning. And, they'd given him medicine and nothing was working. And I took this roller ball in and did it above his eyes and on his temples and everything like that. And 30 minutes later, he was out partying with us. And I was like, was it the medicine? What helped you the most? And he was like, when you came in and put that stuff on my face, he was like, I immediately felt relief. And he's like, and it just got better and better. And over the next 30 minutes, I really started to feel better. So for me, this is a miracle serum. I really love it. It doesn't burn at all like the peppermint oil does, but it really still helps the headaches. So that's Autumn Blooms. I actually have contacted her because I love her stuff so much, and she's giving me a discount code for you guys. So if you want to order, I'm going to talk quite a bit about more of her stuff as we go. So if you want to order anything from her when we're done, I'm not sure what the percentage is, but I know it's a discount. So let me check the comments really fast. Tina, which stuff are you wanting to know where you can get? So the Autumn Bloom stuff, I've linked. She's got an Etsy shop. She's super small business, really nice, and she really everything is made in small batches. She really checks the quality of everything. I really recommend her, and I know she uses a lot She uses doTERRA oils in her stuff. So this is probably my favorite blend ever of oils and things like that. It's called Headache Ease, and it's by Autumn Blooms. So the next step for me was I was still having headaches. Like I said, this I discovered after I had my dots pierced. So I was still having more headaches than I wanted to have. I mean, does anyone really want a headache ever? But I was having still a lot of headaches. So I started hearing about doth piercings, which I did not learn how to pronounce until I went to go get it, because it's spelled D-A-I-T-H, which is kind of a weird spelling. But I started seeing articles everywhere on doth piercings and people talking about doth piercings and everything. So if you're not familiar, a doth piercing is a piercing right here in the middle of the ear that is supposed to help with migraines. And for me, it was kind of like, I don't know, I kind of went back and forth. My husband he calls all of this stuff, he calls it voodoo. He's always like, you know, your voodoo oils or your voodoo piercing, or, you know, he's definitely not, which is so funny because he's like so pro chiropractor and cracks me up. But hang on. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to slide. No, we're okay. So, yeah, so he calls them a voodoo piercing. I told him I wanted to get one, and he was kind of like, yeah, whatever. Like, that's not going to help, whatever. So finally one day, I was with my friend Vanessa, and I was like, I'm done. We're going to try this. Like, and she wanted to try it too. So we went to an awesome place in Salt Lake City called Koi, which I would highly recommend to anyone. And I had my right side done. Vanessa had both sides done that day, which I wish I had done, because if you see, I have them both done now. So I had my right side done. I have a video of me having it done, but it was kind of fuzzy, so I was trying to fix that. So hopefully I can fix that for you guys later. But they go ahead and they pierce that ear right on the pressure point and everything. And for me, I had a headache when I sat down in the chair. And I was like, this is going to be an awesome test. Like, is it going to, because I already have a headache, like, is it going to do anything for this headache? And this awesome guy named DJ was piercing my ear. And the second he stuck the needle in my ear, the headache disappeared. And I was like, you know, whoa, like, this is kind of like, I didn't expect it to help, honestly. I was kind of like a throwaway thing. So so I had this side pierced, and for some people, when they have one side pierced, it helps their whole head, and that's awesome. But for me, I had this side pierced, and I want you guys to be able to see. I'm gonna scoot closer. Can you see in my ear the piercing right there? So, but for me, it was like my head was cut in half. So I didn't get any headaches on this side of my ear, but I still got them on this side of my head, not my ear. And that was like super bizarre for me, because I would be like, whoa, can't see out of this side's fine. So, about a month later, after I had this one done, I went back and had this one done. And so people want to, you know, I'm trying to think of the most common questions that people have about the doth piercings. So go ahead and ask them if you have any. I will, I will promise that I will get to your questions and everything if you have any about the doth piercings. So for me, the biggest thing that you need to know about doth piercings, it has to be done by someone who knows what they're doing. I've known a few people who have had it done, and they said it didn't help me at all. And I said, well, who did your piercing? And they're like, oh, well, like at the mall. And I was like, that's not going to work. You have to have some. The most important thing about this doth piercing is that it's in the right place. If it's not in the pressure point, the acupuncture point, it's not going to help you. So you need to go to someone who knows what they're doing, who's had successful doth piercings in the past. So that's why I went to a piercing studio, which I would highly recommend. That's where I took It's one of those things that I'm like surprisingly passionate about. I took my daughter when she was 7. That's what she wanted for her birthday. So we took her on her 7th birthday to get pierced. And I took her to a piercing studio versus like the mall. And I would absolutely recommend that. You know, they're clean, they're sterile, they're, you know, going to a tattoo parlor or a piercing studio is always going to be more sterile. So, lost my train of thought, guys. So, you know, some people, the next thing people always ask me is they want to know, do you have to get both? I have a friend that had one done and it's helped her whole head. And so she doesn't really need to go have the other one done. For me, like I said, it split my head. So I needed to go have the other one done as well. So, I don't know. If I could do it again, I would just do both at the same time. Like I said, my friend Vanessa just did both at the same time. And then my friend Becky, who went with me the second time, just did both at the same time. So, I mean, totally up to you. But I would love to have, you know, not have to go back a second time. People want to know how much it costs. I mean, that's totally going to depend on where you live. For me, it was about $50 per ear. It ended up being about $100 to do both. But if you weigh that against how many times I was going to the chiropractor and all the other stuff, it was so worth it. Now, the next thing people always want to know is, like, has it completely taken your headaches away? So I've had my ears pierced for 6 months now. The doc piercings for 6 months. And I can honestly say no, not every single headache has been taken away. But I've been telling you about my headaches. So I've had anywhere from 28 a month to 4 a month. And since I've had my doc piercings, 6 months, I've had 2. So that is a huge reduction in headaches for me. And the best part, I will say hands down, the best part about the doc piercings is, even though I've had 2, usually my headaches are super resistant to medicine. I am usually like in the bath, medicine in, peppermint oil on my face, you know, a mask over my eyes to block out the light, and then maybe get some relief. With the doth piercings, I took a couple of ibuprofen at the first sign of pain, and they were gone in a half hour. Now, for me, like, that is, I mean, I'm so appreciative of the, you know, the lack of headaches, but the fact that I feel like it has made them super susceptible to treatment, that has been the real miracle for me. And I have had a headache, and I didn't have medicine with me when I got the headache, and I just treated it with the headache ease from Autumn Blooms, and like, it was gone in like 20 minutes. So for me, that has been the super huge miracle about the doc piercings, is that it's made them super susceptible to medication. So I'm going to double check the comments. I'm actually going to, let's move, no, I think we want to stay here. I'm going to double check the comments and make sure you guys don't have any questions about doc piercings really fast. Okay, I don't see any. So let me know if you have any questions about the doc piercings. I am trying to get that video uploaded so you can see the actual piercing happening. And now let's talk about, so that for me, that's been my headache journey. I've done chiropractor, peppermint oil, then I love this headache ease by Autumn Blooms, and then the doth piercings was my next step, and I have loved them. I love them so much. So the next thing I want to talk about is eczema and skincare. So my 9-year-old has horrific eczema. And when I say horrific, I mean like the worst most specialists have ever seen. For her, I mean, it was so bad when she was younger. And then we moved to Texas. We lived right by the beach in Texas. We lived right by South Padre Island. It was gorgeous. Her skin got so much better. Like, I almost forgot, for 3 years, I almost forgot that it was even an issue. Until we would come home and visit Grandma and Grandpa. And we ended up in the ER once. Because we came home, we were in Texas and we came home for Christmas. It was cold and dry here. And her skin, it cracked so much. She was bleeding everywhere she bent, her knees, her elbows, and everything like that. And so we ended up in the ER, and they were wrapping her in cotton, trying to protect her skin. And I mean, it was truly awful. And then when we moved back to Utah, it was something we had to face head on. And we have tried just about every medication out on the planet, and there are some awesome ones. But the hard thing is, I mean, her skin would get so bad that they would have to give her oral steroids to get it to calm down. And that's fine, like, but oral steroids can hurt your heart. And I didn't, you know, I as much as I wanted her skin to be clear, I didn't want to do any permanent damage to her, obviously. I wanted her to, you know, I wanted to fix this without hurting anything else. Hey, you.
Where's the seat? Mom, can I have a seat?
Oh, you can come sit with me. This is Haley. She has got the flu today. Mm-hmm. It is rough stuff having the flu, huh? Yeah.
It's not dead.
He's not dead. That's awesome.
It's loading.
It's loading. Okay, go watch your show. Oh, she's getting to stay in her jammies and watch shows today. She's got the flu. So seriously, her skin would crack everywhere. It was terrible. And when we moved back, you know, we decided that we were going to stop the oral steroids. That's not something we were going to do anymore, because I didn't want to do any permanent damage to her body. So we have used a couple of different steroid creams, which have helped, but you know, steroid creams thin the skin and everything, and you know, one of the steroid creams that they want us to use has so many rules and regulations about it because it's so heavy duty. So I wanted to find something that helped without being full of steroids. So I have found two things that have, I mean, we have tried everything. Everyone wants to know, like, the second they hear eczema, they're like, Eucerin or Cetaphil, or, you know, they start naming these things. And I'm like, nope, didn't help. Like I said, hers is like the worst eczema a lot of dermatologists have ever seen. So I'm going to share with you the two things that have really changed her life. And the first is Renew lotion by Melaleuca. And I think part of this is it has Melaleuca oil in it. But this lotion, like, we have a Melaleuca membership just for this lotion. Like, because it's so amazing. Like, my sister, her poor little boy has a ton of allergies and was having problems with his skin because it was reacting to his allergies. And so she discovered this lotion, and she like called me up and was like, you have to try this. And we use it every single day on her. There's no steroids in it. Like, we use it every single day, and it has made such a difference just on the quality of her skin from like day to day. And it's so easy. Like, it's just lotion. Like, you know, it's not a lot of the other things we were putting these really oily stuff on her, so we'd have to wrap her so she wouldn't stain her clothes and wouldn't stain our furniture and, you know, things like this. And, you know, we don't do any of that with this. It's just a lotion. But it's like a miracle. It really truly has been a miracle to our family. So this is made by Melaleuca. I have linked up to them in the description. I'm not making any money, by the way, guys, showing you this. I just want you to know that it's just, I just love it so much. So, we use a lot of other things from Melaleuca too. Like I said, we have a Melaleuca membership. Melaleuca is done on memberships, which for me is a little frustrating. But we have a Melaleuca membership, and so we use a lot of their other stuff. I love their soaps. I love their cleaners because their cleaners are really safe. They have really safe plant-based things in them. So I feel good about letting my kids use them and everything like that. So that is Melaleuca. Now I have to tell you, this for a breakout is like the best thing you will ever use. So this is Autumn Blooms Healing Cream Salve. And so we use the Melaleuca on just like everyday skin, just to keep her skin well. And then this is what we use on patches that have broken out. And this, she like goes and picks like, I want to say cottonwood buds or, you know, it's from a specific tree. Like, it's really, like, cool, all of the work that has gone into this product. And I mean, like I said before, she makes everything in small batches in her, you know, in her home. And this, like, it's, the ingredients are fantastic. Like, you look at it and it's like organic mango butter, grapeseed oil, like organic avocado, and extra virgin olive oil. Like, everything is really good in this. And balm of Gilead beds, that's what it is. So this, when my daughter has an itchy patch or, you know, a breakout of some kind, this is what we put on it. And it's, like I said before, it's magic. Like, so before I got my, I have photos of this, I need to post it. Before I got my smartwatch, I wore a Fitbit everywhere. And I don't know about you, I guess I was wearing it too tight on my wrist. And I was, like, never taking it off. The kind I had was waterproof, so I could shower with it on and everything like that. So I never took it off. And it started to develop, push my watch, I started to develop this nasty friction rash right here on my wrist. So I was like, okay, so I'll switch my Fitbit to my other hand. But I don't like it on my other hand because that's the hand I write with and everything like that. So I was feeling frustrated. I wanted to wear my Fitbit, but this nasty friction rash was bothering me. So my sister told me that you have to try. That's how I found out about this, was through my sister. You have to try this stuff. I've been using it on one of her child's skin problems, and you've got to try it. So I got some of this, and I put it over this nasty friction rash on my wrist. You know, just kind of rubbed it in and everything, and I was like, whatever. Like, it's not going to help. 24 hours later, this rash that I had been struggling with for 2 months from my Fitbit was gone. And seriously, like, miracle stuff. This, like, if you go on her site, like, I might have to show you guys. Let's see if we can make it work. Because it's just incredible. Hey, look, there's me. Okay, so I want to show you guys. Let's come down to Autumn Blooms by Cami. And this is what I want to show you. Let's see if we can make this. So it says natural eczema cream. Can you see the befores and afters on this? This is like what it is for my daughter. So can you see like this horrible, horrible rash here? And then it's gone. And these horrible rashes around the belly, and they're gone. And the arm. So for me, like, seriously, this is like total miracle cream. If you have eczema, you know someone with eczema, this is what you need to go get. So, some of the other things that I love, I'm going to show you a few of the other things I love from Autumn Blooms. Like I said, this is just me showing you. I just love this stuff. That's why I'm showing it to you. So she makes this lotion bar, which is like super awesome. You kind of just hold it and rub it where you want it to lotion. It's really moisturizing. You keep it in a tin so it's not all over. Her lip balms are some of my favorite. Super moisturizing. I love the flavors, everything like that. But this is what I wanted to talk to you about today with my little one being sick. So did you know you're actually not supposed to put Vapor Rub on a child under the age of 2? It's got stuff in it that's not great for him. And so this is, if you look right here, this is a homemade all-natural Vapor Rub that is for little kids. And my kids love it. They beg for it on themselves. When they're sick, they beg me to put it on their chest and on their feet. And my hands are all lotiony now, so I can't get the lid off. But we've had such great success with this, and it has nothing in it that's dangerous to little ones. Hang on. Can't get it off. I've put so much lotion on my hands from all the different things. Come on. You can do it. Dang it. So close. There we go. So you can see here, look at this is so, oh, I like the smell of it too. So this is VapoRub. It's really creamy, goes on super easy. Perfect for your little one being sick. Okay, and then this is another company that I love. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. This is from the Literary Apothecary. So she makes a lot of rollers, kind of bookish themed stuff, which is super, super fun. So this one is called Calm Yourself, which I got from a LitJoy crate. But I love this. I put it on my pressure points, and I really think it is soothing. So definitely one of my more favorite things. So there you have it. Those are, you know, if you're going to check out some companies for some natural things, those are the ones I would check out. I check out Melaleuca. I check out Autumn Blooms by Cami. Check out Plant Therapy or doTERRA. Plant Therapy is a little bit cheaper, which is nice. And check out the Literary Apothecary. So thanks, guys, for hanging out with me. If you have any questions about the Daith piercings or anything, I'm always happy to help you. And I will try and get that Daith video uploaded so you can actually see what it's like to have your Daith pierced. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I'll see you later.